On Pie Day, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration announced it's easing its standards on frozen cherry pies, ending a years-long effort prompted by a decades-old industry petition that argued no other pies were subject to the same level of regulation. The frozen cherry pie story is not the story, the American Bakers Association wrote in a 2019 blog post, after headlines spread that the FDA was considering the rule change. Rather, the group argued, the frozen cherry pie regulations were one example of regulations the organization believes are overreaching and that disproportionately affect the food industry. Indeed, in its 2005 petition, the ABA stated it opposes any use of food standards to establish quality characteristics of food in general, and believes food quality should be left up to manufacturers and consumers. For its part, the FDA has said it disagrees with that more general argument, even as it acknowledged the need to eliminate the frozen cherry pie standards. The FDA said it received 60 comments on the proposed rule, with most opposing revoking the standards because of general quality, safety, and public health concerns. But the FDA said these concerns were made, without any supporting evidence, and maintained that revoking the standards would not lower protections for consumers. The elimination of a specific standard of identity and standard of quality doesn't exempt manufacturers from following all other quality control regulations covering ingredient safety and truthful labeling, the agency argued. The FDA has instituted so-called standards of identity since 1939, laying out regulations dictating the composition of certain specific foods. The standard of identity in frozen cherry pies, for instance, was finalized in 1971. But more recently, the agency has been working to update its standards of identity, with the goal of maintaining the basic nature and essential characteristics of standardized foods while permitting flexibility with respect to their composition. In 2022, the agency similarly revoked the standard of identity for French dressings. The FDA commemorated Pie Day as part of its announcement, celebrating March 14, the day celebrating the mathematical figure pi, which begins with the numbers 3.14, not to be confused with Pie Day, which is in January.